welcome to Finn's Auburn Breakdown, Episode 5. Today I'm here with Zach DeRoy. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
First time on the podcast. I know that you are a devout Auburn fan. You've been a fan for most of your life. What brought you to the team? I know your family's not an Auburn fan.
Yeah, my older brother Chase, he's an Alabama fan. My dad and Jacob are Florida fans. And I guess it all started in first grade, and I just started to like Auburn. Like, I see how they play. I know I was very young. I wasn't that intelligent about sports, but I just couldn't stop watching them, and that just brought me to Auburn and their school.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree with you there. Auburn does have that special style of play that draws a lot of people in, does force some people out when they see a team that loses so much. But either way, today we did have a loss against Bama on Saturday in the Iron Bowl. We did not lose as bad as I thought. 14-28 final score. Our defense played incredible. 4 turnovers, though our offense could not capitalize on it. What did you see in the game there?
Well, Alabama just, stopped the running game for Jarquez
They did,
Hunter.
yeah. Jarquez didn't have his best night.
I mean, usually he's getting past the line of scrimmage, past 10 yards, very simply, and it was very hard for him to get past, and it all starts with our O-line. They're, just making gaps, and Alabama's defense just keeps on rushing in.
Yeah, we did see Jarquez not get as many carries as we hoped. Yeah. He was limited very much. The offense, they resorted to passing very early on when we were down, I think, 14-0 or 14-3.
Yep.
We resorted to passing, gave Jarquez the ball less and less, and he was still averaging 9 yards a carry.
Yeah.
We just needed to give him the ball more, and I think we could have had a better shot.
Yep.
Now, I do think that was a decent way to end the season. A loss to Bama, it happens often. Though this loss wasn't terrible. It wasn't a heartbreaker like last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a blowout like 2 years ago. It wasn't terrible. I'm just glad that our season ended like this. I wish we made a bowl game. Wish we would have won.
Yep.
Though overall, I do think we could have performed better in the season. Now that it's over, do you think we'd had a good season?
I mean, yeah, very mediocre season for us, usual. I guess Peyton Thorne didn't have the best start to the season, a lot of interceptions, but during the end of the season, he started to get his game on and started performing pretty well now.
Mm-hmm. Peyton Thorne is gone, and we're looking for a quarterback. I'm guessing we're going to look in the portal.
Yeah.
Though this year's class is not great starting, so that's going to be tough to get. Though looking forward, basketball, where we actually are good. We are ranked number 2, as the thing says back there, and we won the Maui Invitational.
Yep.
Now, that alone is big, because I think we've only played 3 times in it.
Yeah.
It's a tough tournament to get into and a tough tournament to win. Ended up beating 3 ranked teams currently to get in. Number 6, Iowa State. Number 16, Memphis. And number 20, North Carolina. Yeah. Overall, I'm proud of this team. How about you?
I mean, they're performing very greatly. They are very good this season. I mean, you can't just stop Janai Broome.
You cannot, yeah.
If he's in the paint wide open, he's going to finish the basket. And same with Dylan Cardwell. Same thing. He's just going to finish the basket. You cannot stop them. And Todd Pettiford, a freshman, doing very well. Not as good as Houston, though.
Yeah.
He was performing very well against Houston. But against Iowa State, he still got some clutch threes for us. Some good passes from him, too.
Yeah. Speaking of Iowa State, we're going to take a quick review of that game. We were down, I think, 16 going into half.
Yeah.
First half was a terrible performance. I think we were shooting 20% from 3, 40% from the field. Not great. Iowa State was hitting everything. We couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. Then we just kind of came back. We scored 50 points in the second half, leading to an 83-81 victory, with Janai Broome tapping at the buzzer to win the game. Now, who's your player of the game there? I would actually go Chad Baker-Mazara.
Same here.
He
performed
made all those
very
threes.
well.
Yeah, Chad Baker-Mazara.
For threes, he got, maybe 2 threes in a row and then some couple baskets later on. And Janai Broome, he got player of the game that game, but it was a very close call between them two. They were just performing very well for Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And, them two, they're probably one of the best people on our team now. Janai Broome, outstanding player. Chad Baker-Mazara now, he's very good, very talented. Still got some games left to see how good he can really be.
Yeah. So I would definitely say CBM. He gets that for me. Hits a 3 and 1. I think he makes it 2. And Janai and Chad Baker-Mazara were off playing with injuries as well.
Yeah.
Chad Baker-Mazar hyperextended his knee, had to get out for a lot of that, and Janai Broom was suffering some cramps in practice, which after he made the shot at the buzzer went down with a cramp with a second remaining.
Yep.
Now after that game, we moved on. It was a giant upset week. We'd assume if we won this game, we played UConn.
Yeah.
But UConn ended up losing to Memphis in double overtime by 2,
Yeah.
then losing to Colorado by 1, and losing again to Dayton by a couple. And they have dropped 23 spots in the rankings. I mean, we took their spot. I definitely think that UConn is off this season.
Yeah, I think they should.
Though, looking forward at, I think it was North Carolina that was next.
Mhm.
North Carolina, we were kind of always ahead in the game. We weren't blowing them out. We weren't having a close game. We were always comfortably leading by about 15, 14.
Yep.
I think we ended up winning the game by 12, 85-72. It was a good game overall. Who do you have in your player game there?
Definitely Janai Broom. Like, he performed better than I expected him to perform after his injury, the calf.
Mm-hmm.
And Chad Baker-Mazar still helped that team very well to give him that boost of their lead. But Janai Broom, very unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. He was shooting 50% from the floor that night, 50% from 3, and 75% from free throw, 23 points, and a double-double.
Yep.
What a night for Janai Broom, a career-setting 19 rebounds.
Yeah.
19. He is a powerhouse down low. Of course, we got Dylan Cardwell as well. We cannot stop this team. Nobody can. So far, all the teams have lost to us, and I think that our game against Duke tomorrow could end that streak. Duke ranked 9th, playing at Duke. That is a tough field to play against a heavily basketball school. What do you see in the outcome of that game, or how can we progress?
Well, it's at Duke, so I don't know how good we could do against them, but Duke is a very good school. But I think Auburn can edge this one out barely, maybe by a couple points,
Like
5,
Houston,
6
yeah.
points, yeah. And it all depends on how all of our players perform, not just Janai Broom. It's Todd Pettiford, Denver Jones, Miles Kelly, Chad Baker-Mazar, Dylan Cardwell, all of them. It depends on how they perform.
Yeah, I agree with that. And our final game in the Maui Invitational, which was an incredible game indeed, that got us our first Maui title against currently 16 Memphis.
Yeah.
What did you see in that game? I mean, I saw an incredible performance from just everybody.
Yeah, everybody was just doing their job, doing very well, giving passes, giving shots. Memphis, they're a very talented school.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
They're very good. Beat UConn, and I think they should be ranked higher. You know.
Yeah, I think that 16 might be putting them a bit low. I'd put them at 12, I'd say.
Yeah.
Ahead of Alabama.
Yeah. And speaking of Alabama, like, they lost to Houston.
But I think they beat Houston in
They lost
overtime.
to Oregon. They lost to Oregon.
Yeah.
83-81.
And now Oregon is appearing in the rankings after being unranked.
Yep.
I definitely think this was a big upset week in the tournaments. The battle for Atlantis, Gonzaga lost. Indiana got blown out by Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
This is just not what you expected to see. Though in the Memphis game, we did see Dylan Cardwell go crazy. Did not miss a shot.
Yeah.
8 for 8, 18 points, a bunch of rebounds, and he made a three-pointer.
Yeah. I was very surprised on how he made that three-pointer. He is not a three-point shooter.
That is his 6th career three out of playing for 5 years at Auburn. He is 6 for 9, I think, overall.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great to see him shooting that. I know it was the end of the shot clock. We were comfortably winning. It's just funny. His shot form is so dead on. There's no arc to it. It just goes straight down. But when you're 6'11", there's not really any room to go.
Yeah.
Well, that was all for this episode of Finn's Auburn Breakdown. If you want to be in the podcast, make sure to email me on the screen. Say my name. Zach, thanks for being on the podcast again. Make sure to like it.